welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are introducing our set Birthday Before and Afters and its coordinating dies. This set is absolutely adorable and works perfectly with the Magic Picture Changer. So we're going to be checking it out today, and we're also going to be making 3 cards, 2 Magic Picture Changers and another really cool ink blended card as well. So let's go ahead and check this stamp set out. This set has this adorable cake in it, and then it has a cake that has a bite taken out of it and all of the candles have been blown out, which is super cute. We've got a present, and then when the present is open, we've got the cute little bird inside. We also have a cupcake, and then a cupcake with a bite taken out of it. There's a candle that you can add to the cupcake, and we have one with the flame and one without. We also have a 2-part solid frame that you can stamp to color in the flame. So we've got the bigger one and then the smaller one to be the darker part of the flame. We have a cute little cherry to put on the cupcake and some sprinkles too. Then we have a confetti stamp, and I love this stamp because you could stamp it all around, create your own background, or have a ton of confetti kind of bursting out around that bird coming out of the present, which I think would be super, super cute. This set has a heart in it, and then it has a bunch of different styles of smiley faces. So I really like this kind of angry face because it looks really cute with the cupcake with a bite out of it. And then here you can see the different styles. So we've got one with eyelashes and one without, and you can see how cute that looks in the cupcake. We also have a stamp where you can stamp it around the smiley faces to have the little rosy cheeks around them. This set has great sentiments, and I love this happy birthday sentiment. It also has an exclamation point to match it, and then some other great phrases. Hope your day is filled with surprises. May all your wishes come true. Have your cake and eat it too. And we also have indulge, and we have a smaller exclamation point to fit on those phrases. Next, I'm going to be using my Copic markers to color in these images, and I love the cake because you could color anything in your imagination, maybe to match your pattern paper or to be the favorite colors of the recipient. For me, I love chocolate cake, so I decided to make the icing a chocolate icing, and I really love adding fun and bright colors to these cakes. This before and after set is so fun, and this is all of the before and after sets because they're great for standard cards, but they're also great in the Magic Picture Changer because you can have the change from before to after. The other way I like to use these sets is on the outside and the inside of a card. So on the outside you could have the cake and then it would say happy birthday, and then you would open it to the inside and you would have the cake with the layers exposed, and maybe it could say indulge or have your cake and eat it too. So I love that you can use this set for easier cards or also more complicated interactive cards. Now for this layer cake, the way I love to use it is by coloring in the layers in rainbow order. Have you guys seen those cakes on Pinterest? They're so gorgeous with the rainbow layers. So I've decided to do that because I don't think I could ever figure out how to bake one of those. So instead I'm going to color one, and you can see just how cute and happy it looks with those beautiful rainbow colors in there. I'm also doing the candles in rainbow colors too, which I think is just so much fun. Now for the present and the bird popping out, this is another place where you can get really creative with your coloring. So I just love turquoise, so I'm going to do that. But once again, this would be great to match to your pattern paper or to the recipient's favorite colors. The other really fun thing to do here is you could use a white gel pen to add stripes or polka dots, and that looks really, really cute on the present. You can see as I start to color in this present, the blending was a little bit hard for me to do between those 2 markers. So I'm touching the tip of the lightest marker to the darkest marker to help create a medium shade to help me blend those 2. So when I have 2 markers that are far apart in each other, that's a great way to get them to work together. When I'm trying to decide where to shade things, I try to make it super easy. So I look for little curves or things for shading to be under. So I'm going to create a darker area under that hat, and on the ribbon, I'm going to create darker areas under the curves. And so that's a really nice way to help things guide. Also, when I color, I like to lay down my lightest marker, then my darkest, and then blend out with that lightest. And I like to do that because once the paper's wet, I find it a lot easier to blend between my 2 colors. This cupcake I made into a chocolate cupcake because chocolate's the best. And then I decided to do some purple colors for the little cupcake wrapper and for the candle, and I think that looks really, really pretty with the chocolate. I had such a blast coloring in these images because it's so fun to use such bright colors, and this set is so perfect for that. So here are the coordinating dies, which you can bend apart at the tabs or use your wire snips to separate. I'm going to take that coordinating die there, line it up with the stamped image, hold it in place with some low tack tape, some post-it note tape here, run that through the die cut machine, and we're going to have perfectly cut out images. And here you can see all of the images in this set. They're so cute and so happy and fun and so perfect for birthday cards. And these are different ways you can mix and match some of those elements there. So you can see the candle, how cute it is on the cupcake with or without the flame, the little cherry or the sprinkles, or even the heart is really cute on the cupcake too. So now we're going to make one of my favorite interactive cards ever, and that's a magic picture changer card. So we've got some paper out there, and we're going to stamp the cake with the flames and then the cake without the flames with the bite out of it. And we're also going to stamp both of those images on some post-it there. And that post-it is a full stick post-it, so we're going to use it to create some masks. So we'll take our scissors and trim right along the black line, and so we'll be able to cover up those cakes. So I've colored the cakes in the exact same way that we did towards the beginning of the video. And I'm going to take my scissors there and just trim, you'll see, right along that black line. The thing I love about creating masks is it means that you can do some cool inking around your stamped images, and they can be used over and over again. So we'll just keep trimming, and then once that's all done, we can take that mask and layer it right over the cake, and then we'll repeat the same thing with the other cake. So I'm going to take the mask and layer that. And now our colored images are protected and we can start to do some inking. So we're going to take out one of these really cool blender brushes and some cracked pistachio distress oxide ink. And I really love this cracked pistachio color. It's just such a happy color. So we're going to pick up some of that ink with the brush, start in the center of the cake and move outwards. And so it's going to be a little bit darker towards the center of the cake and then lighter towards the outside. So we'll just slowly build up that color. So you'll see there, I'm kind of layering my die cut cake over just to see how dark I want that cake there. Then I'm also going to layer the die over to make sure I've put that green area out far enough. So we'll do the same thing with the other cakes. I'm just going to start in the center and blend it and kind of see how it's looking, building up that color until it's the perfect green. Now my favorite part, we're going to peel up the mask, and isn't that amazing? It always feels like one of those makeover shows to me. Like we're going to turn the cake around, it's going to look in the mirror and see how cool it looks with this green background on there. As you can tell, I get a little crazy while I'm crafting. I'm always kind of talking to my stamps. Do you guys do that too? So anyways, now we're going to peel up the other mask, and it's so pretty. And so now we're going to be ready to do some die cutting. But since I already had my blender brushes out, I'm just going to go ahead and start doing some of the inking that's going to be the frame for my die. So here we've got some fresh lavender ink and one of the blender brushes, and we're just going to build up that ink color across this whole piece of paper, and we'll be die cutting that later. Now I could have just used solid cardstock, but I like the look of the ink blended look to kind of match the ink blending we did around the cake. So I love that both of the pieces are going to match really nicely. Now to add a little bit of texture, we're going to take out a water bottle here, just filled with water, and we're going to spray a ton of water on this, and that water is going to react with the ink and give it a really, really cool look. So spray it, we'll kind of pick up any of the excess with a paper towel, and it's going to look absolutely gorgeous and really amazing. I love the purple and green together for this card. So next it's time to start cutting the magic picture changer. So the full cake is going to be on the bigger pocket piece. So I'm going to line that up, kind of putting the cake about in the center, and we'll hold that in place with some post-it note tape. Now I want the other cake to be the same. So I'm going to take out my really cool Awesome Beyond Measure ruler, measure that out. It ended up being about 3/16. And then I'm going to go over here and measure the same thing and move my piece there until it's in perfect placement. And so I'm not the best eyeballer, so that's a really nice way for me to know that the cakes are going to be in the same position. So we're going to take both of these pieces and run them through the die cut machine, and that's going to give us our larger pocket piece and then our moving piece. Next, we're going to start to form the magic picture changer, and if you've never done one of these before, make sure to check out the intro video. We'll link it in the description below. So we're going to fold along the score lines that the die created for us, folding it in half and then creating 2 tabs, and we're going to put some 1/8 inch double-sided tape on both sides of each of the tab for 4 pieces of tape total. Then we're going to peel up the liner paper on the inside part of that tab, and we're going to attach that tab down to the inside of the pocket piece. This is going to become the track for our moving piece. So we're going to adhere the other tab down. Now, one of the tricks for Magic Picture Changer cards is to use a powder tool. Now, you could use some baby powder and a paintbrush. I just like this powder tool because it's not quite so messy. And so I'm going to take that and put powder all along both of the pieces. That's going to reduce the friction between the 2 pieces of paper and make the movement really great. So now we're going to take that moving piece, we're going to insert it to the center of the pocket piece. You'll see there are 4 slots there and 4 tabs here. So the first tab is going to go in the first slot, second tab in the second slot, third tab, and fourth tab. So I'm going to repeat that close up, second tab, third tab, and fourth tab. And that's it. That's going to create the really cool moving mechanism. Next, we want to make sure that that moving piece is exactly between the 2 tracks but not touching the tracks. And then we can peel up the liner paper, and then we're going to close the whole pocket piece like a book, securing everything together. Now that that purple piece that we worked on earlier is dry, we're going to take the Magic Picture Changer add-on piece, and this is a decorative frame. We're going to die cut that pattern paper. Now before we add it to the interactive portion of the card, I want to do some stamping. So we're going to take the Happy Birthday from the set, which I just love that font, and then we're going to do the May All Your Wishes Come True, which I think is really cute with the candles being blown out. So we're going to line that up in the Misty tool, and we're going to do some clear embossing ink and then some white embossing powder. So I'm going to add that in and then just do some light taps. This is Megan from the Design Teams method, and these light taps really help for the detail to really stay. If you press down too hard, it's going to kind of smush this clear embossing ink. By tapping, it's the perfect amount of pressure, and you can see the beautiful fine detail with that white embossing powder. Now we're going to add our tape. We're going to go corner to corner in all 4 corners and then tape on the short sides. We're not going to put any tape on the long sides because that would get in the way of the mechanism moving. Then we can attach that right onto the Magic Picture Changer, and you can see how pretty it's looking. The rainbow layers in the cake really reminded me of this paper from the Really Rainbow collection. So I went ahead and found that paper, and I didn't know how much of a border I wanted around this card. So I'm using my ruler to decide, and 1/4 inch all the way around looked really nice. So we're going to go ahead and trim that paper down so that we'll have 1/4 of an inch border all the way around the Magic Picture Changer. I had a little extra piece where I had been testing out my green color to see if it was the right color, and that was the perfect piece to die cut the tab for this. So I've die cut the tab, folded it in half on the score line that the die creates for you. Then we're going to add a bunch of tape runner to the inside of that, and then we can attach that to that tab piece. So this piece is not only decorative because the arrow tells the recipient what to do, but it's also functional in that it stops it right in the right moment for that picture change to happen. We're going to create a card base to match that pattern paper, add some tape runner onto that. We can attach our pattern paper, and then I like to put foam squares on the back of the Magic Picture Changer because it makes it easier for the recipient to grab that tab. So we can attach that on, and now this card is done, and it is so cute and so happy, and I love it, and I could play with this all day. How adorable is that? Where there's the slice out of the cake, the candles have been blown out. It's just the cutest, happiest birthday card. This would make someone smile so much. So next up, we're going to be creating another Magic Picture Changer, but this time it's going to be with the present and the bird. So we went ahead and stamped and colored and did all of that part just like we did in the beginning, although instead of ink blending this time, we used Copic markers to create the ground and the sky, which is nice and quick and easy because you actually don't have to do any masking that way. Then we've used the Magic Picture Changer dies to cut our pocket piece and also our moving piece. And so we're going to fold this in the same exact way. We're going to fold the 2 tabs, and we'll also add the 1/8 inch double-sided tape to both sides of the tab, both the outside and inside, for a total of 4 pieces of tape. We'll peel up that liner paper and attach the 2 tabs to the inside of the pocket piece, creating the track for the moving piece. And then we're going to use that powder tool and run that all along the inside and outside of both pieces to reduce any friction that there might be so that the 2 pieces are going to move really nicely. Put the tab of the moving piece in the center of the pocket piece, and now we can put our tabs through the slots 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see now that it's going to move. So we can fold that in half, and it's so amazing when it changes to the bird coming out. It makes me so happy. And so now that we have that moving piece in place, we can peel up that liner paper and then close that pocket piece like a book, forming the entire interactive mechanism. We were definitely in a rainbow kind of mood, so we're taking out the Really Rainbow collection again, and this time we're going to take this really cool rainbow stripe, and we're going to use that same Magic Picture Changer add-on. We're going to die cut that, and you'll see how beautiful that's going to look as a frame. So we're going to add some tape again to the short sides and to all 4 corners, corner to corner. We can peel up that liner paper and then attach that Magic Picture Changer frame over the whole entire interactive mechanism. Now this time we're going to decorate the outsides of the frame. So we're going to use that cute little cupcake. We've colored in the wrappers in a rainbow style to match the cool rainbow frame. And we're going to stamp a couple of those fun and happy faces in those cupcakes. And then we can add a little bit of detail with a marker. So we're just going to add a couple little dots to be little sprinkles on the cupcake, which I think is super cute. And we're going to do that in rainbow order. Then we'll use the coordinating dies to cut them out. So now we're going to take a stitched scallop square frame, and this square frame is actually going to fit that Magic Picture Changer window perfectly. So you can use your scalloped square frames like this, and it adds a really cool decorative detail onto the Magic Picture Changer. So I really love how that looks. We've die cut the tab piece out of some peacock cardstock, and this is the tab piece that's included in the Magic Picture Changer add-on, and it's got the words pull on it, which I think is really cool. We're going to add some liquid glue on there and then just sandwich that around the tab piece. We're going to take some foam tape and put it on the back of the Magic Picture Changer mechanism, and we like to do this because it makes it a little easier for the recipient to grab that pull tab when you add some foam tape behind it and put it on your card base. Then for some decoration, we're going to add these cute little cupcakes. We're going to put a candle on one of them, which goes great with the birthday theme, and we're going to attach these with some foam squares onto the card, and I really love how it's filling in this whole scene. I just love how this is turning out, and look how cool this is when the bird pops out of the box. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely adorable. Now for a sentiment, we're going to take the happy birthday and we're going to stamp them in some clear embossing ink on some peacock cardstock, and that's going to match the pull tab. And so we're going to put some white heat embossing powder on that and then heat that up with a heat tool. And to give this a cool look, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to trim these pieces out. That way we can layer them onto the card base in kind of a haphazard way, which I think is really, really cute. I just love how it ends up looking on the top of the card. For a little extra sparkle, we're going to take some stickles and add it to the flame, and we're also going to add some stickles to the tops of the cupcake, and that's going to look like a little sugar on top. Now for this card, we wanted to stamp the "May Your Day Be Filled with Surprises" on the inside, which I think is really nice and goes really well with the whole Magic Picture Changer idea. So you can see just how cute that is, and I love stamping things on the inside of cards. It just adds one more element for whoever you're sending it to. And now here you can see the card in action. How cute is that when you pull and the bird pops out? It's such a surprise. It's so cute. This would really make anyone's day, and I love that we have that great sentiment on the inside as well. Now that we've made two Magic Picture Changers, it's time to create a more quick and easy card, and we're going to be doing some ink blending, and we're going to be creating this card inspired by Kay, so thank you so much, Kay. In this case, we've got out some Distress ink and an ink blending brush, and we're going to start in the center of the card and work our way out. That way it's a little bit darker in the center and lighter towards the outside, and this is a really fun way to build up color and create a background that has just a little extra something going on. So we've got our darker color, the evergreen bough on the inside part of it, and then we've got the cracked pistachio on the outside for a lighter color. To add some texture, we're going to take a paintbrush and dip it in some water, and this is a small paintbrush, which is going to mean small splatters, and that water is going to react with the ink. We're also going to be adding some watercolor paint on there, so this is a really pretty gold color, and we're also going to add a pearlescent pink too, and by mixing these colors and splattering them all over, it really gives it a ton of texture, and it's really, really beautiful and sparkly in person. Then we'll add some foam tape to the back of that whole stitched rectangle panel, and we can layer that onto the card base. And I really like the white panel on the white card base. I think it looks beautiful. Next, we're going to do some heat embossing. So we're going to stamp out in some clear heat embossing ink, and then we're going to add some white embossing powder to that and heat that up with the heat tool. Then we'll use our paper trimmer to trim it out, and then just use some scissors at the end to add a little detail, kind of get it closer to the sentiment, and that's going to create this really cool panel that we can put on top of the card, and that black and white is really going to pop on all of that color. Here we've stamped, colored, and die cut some of the images from Birthday Before and Afters, and I love that cake with that purple frosting. There we've got a present with some of those white gel pen details to give it the stripes, and then of course the bird popping out of the present, and I love the polka dots with the white gel pen too. And just by layering these three images, it looks absolutely amazing on that really cool background. And so this was a quick and easy card that packs a big punch. Next up, we have some gorgeous cards by the design team, and this card by Audrey is so happy. I love those pops of red on the card. This card by Elise is just gorgeous. I love the ink blending she did and how she used one of the Just Stitching double rectangles. Megan created a really cool magic picture changer card, and I love how she combined critters from so many different sets. They're all at the party, and now they've eaten some of the cakes. I think it's just absolutely adorable and it's just so happy and fun. I love this clean and simple card by Letitia. It's so gorgeous, and I love how she stacked the sentiments. Elena used our peekaboo backdrop and then combined it with some other critters, and I love this kind of comic book style scene. This card by Yanea is just gorgeous. I am obsessed with that rainbow background she created, and I love how she layered the magic picture changer card in portrait on a landscape card, and how cute is it when the bird pops out of the present? These next two cards by Shari are so fun. I love the double rectangles that she cut into the cardstock and the pattern paper, and then this background she created is just gorgeous. And then Lynette made a really cool magic picture changer card. I love how she layered all of those fun and happy pattern papers. So I cannot wait to see what you guys do with this set, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!